You want to play a really great two-player game?
Watch this video and find out which ones you should put on your table.
These are only really good ones. So if you want like an average ones or just good ones, this is not the video for you.
We ranked the best two-player games that we think are the best two-player games. And we have ranked them from 1 to 10 already, secretly. And we don't know what's the end result. So you will be just as surprised as us. We will start out with then place number 10 and go up. Games will get better and better and better, right?
But they're all good.
Unless he messed up and made the list all weird.
Right. Or you messed up and there's no chance.
I never do. I never. Boom! It's Forest Shuffle. Forest Shuffle is a super quick, good looking game.
And it's super quick with 2 players. If you're gonna play with 5,
In this game, you are building a forest by planting trees. They grow really quickly, right?
It's not there and then it's there. And then under those trees, on the sides of those trees, on top of the trees, we'll have animals.
And all those animals will score points in different kind of ways.
So will the trees. In different kind of ways.
And you all get these cards, trees and animals, from the single deck. The game will end when you pull out 3 winter cards from that deck.
Winter is coming. Is that a nod to Game of Thrones?
I guess so. So basically this is a Game of Thrones simulator with trees. Okay, it's nothing like Game of Thrones, but it's super quick, super fun engine builder.
All you do in your turn is either draw 2 cards or play a single card.
It's for people who want a quick dose of Eurogame?
If you like Terraforming Mars, if you like Race for a Galaxy, and you want something quicker and maybe more family friendly, Forest Shuffle. The rules are simple, just the choices are tough.
Let's shuffle on to the next game, which will be Too Many Bones.
Really?
Oh man, I tried. No?
No, it's good. I'm just jealous that I didn't think of it.
Such a good looking game, and I think one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest game on this list.
You mean physically?
All these dice, all these chips. And luckily, it's not just looks. It's actually a really good board game. Too Many Bones is a cooperative game, which means you all work together to defeat these baddies. Yeah. You're playing these gearlocks and they have these holes to place dice in them. While you're playing the game, you will upgrade that character and get stronger and stronger and stronger. When you fight, you will use these dice, roll them, and do different magical superpowers.
The board is this, and you have to tactically move around to kill the and then unless the kill you, you win and move on to the next fight. In between those battles, you will get the chance, like you said, upgrade. And then move to the next battle until you get to the big baddie, which actually the monsters are called baddies here. Yeah. And then if you kill it, you win the game. If you don't kill it, you don't win the game.
This one is for really hardcore gamers. This is one cheat sheet for one player.
Yeah, that's not the rulebook.
This is cheat sheet for all the players, and then you also have a cheat sheet for all the bad guys' powers.
It plays great solo, but I find it the best with 2 people.
You basically will have the event phase where you read a card and then go to fight the monsters. And when you're fighting monsters, each turn you choose which dice you will roll and roll them and try to defeat these monsters and take their life.
And you can use dice for special abilities, for movement, for attacking, for healing.
But it's always satisfying because when you create your unique character, it's yours and you feel freaking amazing. Number 8 is 7 Wonders Duel.
7 Wonders Duel is, so far, the only 2-player exclusive game.
In 7 Wonders, you're playing these civilizations, but you're fighting against each other. Who's gonna build the wonders?
There's 3 ways to win. You can either win by collecting military icons, and if you move the marker all the way to your side, you win by yelling,
"This is Sparta."
Watch our house rules video that came recently to understand what this is about. Or you can win by collecting science icons, or if none of those happen and the game ends, who has the most points wins. And you get points by building wonders.
And the game has a really interesting pyramid of cards. You can pick on your turns cards that are on top.
Cards will have either resources for building wonders or icons for the military or scientific victory.
And whenever you pick one card, you actually open up other cards that are underneath for the opponent to pick up.
Do I want this card so much that I will let you have this card? Yeah. I don't know.
Hate drafting was kind of invented because of this game.
This game is synonymous with hate drafting.
Yeah, which means you will sometimes just pick cards for your opponent not to get them because it's really fun.
And there's a Lord of the Rings version coming out this year.
So let's wander to the next game.
Okay. What do I do now?
Now you know how I feel always, huh?
Wow. I know what I need to do now.
Yeah. That's my only go-to move. We went sky high with Sky Team number 7.
That guy's on the roll.
Have you ever wanted to be a pilot? You're more of a co-pilot guy, huh? Or a pilot guy?
No, co. I co everything. I coexist with my wife. And this game won the Best Game of the Year award this year!
And while Janis is opening the box, I will explain to you that you are playing a pilot and a co-pilot and trying to land a plane. And a lot of times you won't, which means you will crash and lose the game. You will win the game if you successfully land the plane in the airport.
When you're landing, the plane has to be straight. It's very hard to land on one wing, right? It's very hard.
It's very hard.
You have to have the right speed.
You shouldn't crash into other planes. And also you need to open up the wheels to land. You also need to open up the flaps to land. What we do each round is roll dice secretly, right here. We cannot show them to each other, as well as we cannot talk with each other. And finally, I will have 1 minute of silence now.
So there's many things each of us needs to do. Because I can place dice only on the orange spaces. You can place dice only on the blue spaces. Both of us can place dice on the mixed spaces.
And that's the best part of the game. Because if one of us messes up, the plane most likely will crash. You have to place the right dice at the right time, not to crash. That's simple.
There are many airports that you need to land your plane in, and each of those airports comes with a special rule that is added. For example, next airport will have fuel. We have to follow the fuel. If we run out of fuel, we lose. The really hard ones have a timer.
Two-play game that you can play in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's fly over to the next game, number 6, Mindbug. Everybody has seen 1 versus 1 card games, right? You play some cards, then attack the other player and try to be the last one standing.
Yeah. Love those.
Same thing here, but there are mind bugs.
Excellent, that's why it's number 6, excellent.
Exactly.
So what's number 5?
Exactly. A mind bug is a card which you can use whenever the opponent plays a card. So let's say Janis plays a really cool monster, which is
Blessed Killer Bee.
And at that point, I will use one of my mind bugs to steal that monster, and now he is forever mine.
Bug. Each player has only 2 mind bugs, and the goal of the game is to kill the other player. All you have to do is just take away 3 life points. And you do that by attacking with one of your monsters.
You will only have 10 cards, 10 cards in your deck. And if you run out of cards, then it's your problem, okay, mate?
And all you do in your turn is either attack with one of your monsters or play a new monster. All the monsters have different abilities that change the game. Like some are unblockable, some are poisonous, etc, etc.
And I really hope that you don't mind. But let's go to the number 5th spot. War of the Ring. This is the most thematic board game ever created. Yes,
it's up there.
The Lord of the Rings books in a board game form. That's the best way I can explain this.
Essentially, one player takes the role of the shadows, and then the other player takes the role of the free people. And each of those sides has different ways to win. The shadow can win if it controls a certain amount of cities and strongholds. Free people can win if they either destroy the ring, obviously, because, you know, that's kind of the point of all of this, or also control a certain amount of cities or strongholds, which usually does not happen, is really tough to do, will never happen, never happen. Will it never happen?
I have never seen it happen. The main mechanism is rolling dice and then picking actions from these dice. The shadow side has a lot of them and we'll do more actions, while the free people side just have few of them, but they compensate in other ways. And also you will have event cards, which will do different magical things, thematic things. Gandalf the White returns, and then...
Spoilers! Thought he died.
I mean, you had already more than 10 years to watch the movies and read the books, so...
Books are greater.
Screw you with your books purists. They both are great. The only reason people say that the books are better for them to be I'm so fancy, I read the books, okay? Because books are better. Screw you!
Sir, I do not appreciate your tone. I'm just gonna quickly pop on and read Charles Dickens and be right back.
Especially the shadow player will move huge armies and fight against the free peoples. Huge armies. It takes 3 hours, I'd say, to play this. It's for gamers, it's for those people who really, really love the theme.
You want to live through the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Let's ring the next game. Star Wars deck building.
Finally getting to some good themes.
So from super heavy to super light. In this game, one plays the light side and one plays the dark side. I've heard dark side has cookies, so it's your choice.
They keep saying that. I've seen all the movies, there's no cookies. Each player starts with a little deck of cards, and then during the game, you will get new cards to add to that deck.
The goal of the game is to destroy 4 of opponent's bases. And you can do that by playing cards with attack symbols, guns like this one.
And then you will take that amount of damage and place it on the opponent's base.
When it gets to this limit, then it gets destroyed and you pick up your next one that I will try to target and destroy. The other options that you will get in these cards are these symbols, which basically are resources that help you buy cards from this row. Also, it would not be a Star Wars game without force, which you fight over, and that makes your cards stronger. And the most unique part about this deck builder
are the cards in the market. So you have your own cards that you can buy. There are the neutral cards, which you also can buy. But then there are cards of the other player, which you cannot buy. But you can
shoot at them and get the reward that is written right here.
But the best reward is that the other player won't get that card.
Quick, easy to teach game. I would say Force Shuffle is even more difficult than this one. It's my go-to to have like a good, quick time with my significant other next to the other obvious thing, which is playing other games.
War of the Ring. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Do you think they thought something else?
I don't know. What did you think?
Well, yeah, come on. How about let's force our way into the next game, huh?
And the next game is Watergate. 1 versus 1 game.
From Lord of the Rings to Star Wars to real history.
I'm not sure if you have heard about the Watergate scandal, have you?
Yes, Mr. Nixon messed up.
One of you is really confident that he did and wants to find all the clues, while Nixon is, well, he knows he messed up. But he's trying to prove he did not by stopping the journalists from getting all the information. You as journalists will win the game if you can connect Nixon with witnesses.
Alleged witnesses. Because Mr. Nixon might do some things and suddenly that's not a witness anymore. Or should I say, never was. The other way the game can end is if Mr. Nixon wins by stalling, essentially.
But there are these event cards that are very thematic and real people, real things that happened.
Also a very nice 2-player tug-of-war card game.
And let's go through the gates to number 2, right?
Nice. Yeah.
This was a bit of a reach, but I'm trying. War of Arrakis.
Sorry, it's so hot right now that we only have the expansion box.
It's 4.
Oh, yeah.
Our mistake. This game is so hot that a friend of ours wanted to borrow it and we do not have it for filming. You either play Atreides, the good guys I guess, against the bad guys, the Emperor and Harkonnen.
Each of those sides has a different goal. Atreides win if they collect certain points in different categories, but that is a secret. Only Atreides know which points and how many. And they collect those points by resolving event cards that are available each round, and they're gonna be switching all the time. The Harkonnen win by collecting 10 supremacy points, and you get those by being Harkonnen, which is
trying to destroy the Fremens and Atreides, as well as try to collect as much spice as you can, because you can sell that and get more supremacy.
The basic mechanism of this game is exactly like a War of the Ring. Each player has a bunch of dice, each player rolls those dice, and then they will use those dice for different actions like recruiting troops, moving troops, playing cards, and doing other specific actions. Yes, there are sandworms. Yes, there are, what do you call those little helicopter things?
Hornicopters.
Yes, hornicopters. Wait, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 400%.
What War of the Ring is to Lord of the Rings, this is to Dune. Everything is in there.
Arrakis is more streamlined, it's easier to get into, and it means it's quicker. But War of the Ring is even more thematic, slower movement and this marching of armies. But in War for Arrakis, yeah, it's guerrilla warfare, where you just suddenly are in this place, pop up, fight. It's a different feel to the games, even though both are great and lovely games.
Yeah. Well, let's ride that sandworm into the next game.
Boom! If you want to battle out with each other, with these fantasy creatures that all feel completely different and interesting, do it here in Summer Wars, because it's super simple to play, yet challenging to master.
It's almost like a miniatures game where you have a board and you'll be moving pieces around, but it is a card game. Each player has their own faction. For example, I would be playing the Obsidian Dwarves, and each of those decks has their own summoner and a different kind of units that act differently. But the goal of your game is to kill the other summoner. The first one to kill the other summoner wins the game.
You start by summoning new creatures, then you can move them, then you can attack with them. One of the most interesting parts, you can discard cards from your hand to get magic points. And these magic points you can use to play the cards. But this deck is all the cards that you get. So if you run out of those cards, that's kind of game over.
This game pushes you towards conflict because each time you attack and kill an opponent's unit, you get magic and you will be able to spend that on resources as well.
Even more, if you do not attack at your turn, your summoner will lose 1 health. It always pushes you attack, 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 and there's quite a lot of conflict and it's really, really fun. There's nothing too complicated in here.
No, there isn't. Most of the complicated things come from the units themselves, and some of the factions are easier to play and some of them are a bit tougher. Generally, all in all, it is a quite straightforward game. Just the choices and when to, what to are the biggest questions.
Let's summon the end screen and say goodbye. We'll see you next time. Thank you to everybody who supports us. You are the freaking greatest people out there. If you don't, please consider maybe you could also be one of those greats.